All right, it's time for our daily Marvel Snap news video. Now, if you haven't heard, they're announcing a series drop. Looks like series drops can only happen during patches. So if I were to guess, that is about 2.5 weeks away. Very interesting, a little different than what I predicted in my video from the other day. But going from Series 4 to Series 3, Helicarrier, Agent Coulson, Maria Hill. Agent Coulson seems play in some of the Devil Dino decks. I personally have not been able to get Helicarrier or Maria Hill to work very well for me. Silver Surfer, Darkhawk, Null, and Sentry are going from Series 5 to Series 4. Galactus players love Null. I will be picking up Null for 3,000 collector's tokens. Darkhawk is a good card, but the Zabu nerf has made... I just don't see him anymore. I don't see Darkhawk being ran in top tier decks. I don't know. I need to do more testing. Of course, Silver Surfer is good, and in my opinion, Sentry is nearly unplayable. I think if Sentry was like a 4/10, he would see some play, just like Typhoid and Atuma do, but he's a 4/8, so not a lot of play. Now, we've got some word here about some changes going to be made to Thanos, and it's cosmetic, which is very interesting. And I got to give a shout out to Marvel Snap Zone. Link to this article will be in the description. What they do is they compile all of the Q&A questions that were answered by the developers in the Discord server. And so this makes for a very handy way of seeing everything in one place. Will the devs consider revising the featured location system as is? Yes, we are discussing ways to make this experience better for hot and featured locations. We'll try some things in a future update, and we'll continue to iterate on it. And my opinion is that, you know, hot locations are for 24 hours. Featured locations are for 2 days. You got 3 days out of the week where you have some sort of location that shows up with a higher frequency. And for me, this is the best day to climb. In fact, I made a video about the Quantum Tunnel just a couple days ago, and I always put out these videos when new locations come to the game. It's a good way to get ahead of the curve because smart players will get ahead on featured location days. And I was able to climb from 111, 120 using a Thanos Lockjaw deck that I featured in this video. And so it is a extremely smart strategy to understand the new locations, not necessarily build decks solely around the locations, but to use decks that definitely complement with the locations. So for me, if I can use a tier 2 or a tier 3 deck or a deck that did well in prior seasons that works amazing with the locations, I want to take advantage of that. Or you can do like American Primate does. I climb faster on featured location days as well, mostly by nuking the location and taking advantage of the other guy with the specialized deck for the location. You can definitely do that, run Storm, and then players that went too specialized are going to run into players like this. So running a tier 2, tier 3 deck that works with or without the locations seems to be the smart thing to do. Will future card drops require a patch still? Yes, for now, but we are working towards untangling the patch requirement. So the way that I see it, that's about 2.5 weeks away before that happens. I've heard Thanos is getting an animation, but I can't seem to find information about it. Is it happening? Do you know when? If so, yes, the VX team is actively working on this and is looking epic. Can't wait for y'all to see it. Wow, wow, wow. Will there be changes to the ranking system not to round down at season end? I understand the season game has locked ranks, but why does it round down? If I finish at 68, for example, why do I have to start the next season at 30 instead of 38? This is very frustrating by a lot of players. We're working on some ways to improve the ranking system. We will share more soon. Now that the team can balance without needing a patch, can we still accept to see a patch once a month? Yes, we still plan to continue release new features and content on a regular cadence. Looks like it's 4 or 5 weeks apart. And I know a lot of people are saying nerf this, nerf that. I hope that they take their time with nerfs. It's only been a week. How could we know what cards need to be nerfed, really? Only after a week. Is Arrow strong? Yes. Is Shuri strong? Yes. But can we just wait a couple weeks and see how the meta flushes out, if there's going to be a counter meta and so on? And for heaven's sake, can they please just buff cards more regularly? Wouldn't it be nice if Luke Cage got a buff to 2 power so he could be played in Cerebro 2 with Hazmat? That would be amazing. Is the team aware that some players are using Agatha to farm season pass experience using an auto clicker? I'm seeing players hit 500 season pass caches in a season from this and are farming the rewards. We are planning on implementing a season XP cap to control farming that'll be similar to the booster cap, which has the same purpose. And there's a 1,000 booster cap per day. Will more anime variants be introduced? Yes. Did Kingpin ever have the effect change this location to Fisk Tower? And basically the answer is yes. No, but he used to destroy cards anytime something moved to where he is instead of a specific turn. So that's kind of like Fisk Tower, right? Have you ever considered working with retailers to organize tournaments? Who knows what the future holds, but we would love to see tournaments put on by retailers using friendly battles. Feel free to arrange your own tournaments and share your experience. Is it intended for Modok to fast forward the game? And they said they're going to change this because it's kind of going too quickly. We are going to do a pass at when FF is triggered, especially for discard destroy situations. And what I noticed is that this is kind of annoying because it fast forwards. Let's say you drop Modok on Wong, and then you can't see how many swarms, whether they had Apocalypse. It's kind of annoying for sure. Are featured hot locations active in battle mode? No. Will bundles be added without a patch now? Bundles still require patches for now. We plan to enable them to be added without a patch in the future. Will there be any new splits/backgrounds added? Yes, we want to add more and give more agency to build towards the splits you want. That sounds great. Let's take a look at the developer roadmap. A lot of this stuff has already happened. Battle mode versus friends already happened. Name chains already happened. Artist credits already happened, and so on. Infinity Split mod details. Looks like that is coming soon. In development, a PC widescreen UI on the Steam client. I think that'll be fantastic. Smart decks. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe that's a way of auto-making decks. Unranked mode, which would be fantastic. New competitive modes. Can't wait. In concept, guilds, that's coming. Infinity rank leaderboard, that sounds amazing. Collectible emotes and card emojis. Mythic variants, booster magnets, avatars and titles by deck, PC controller support, season, cash improvements, and in-game events. Last night I switched to some homebrew Wong deck for fun and climbed like crazy because I faced another goofy deck. I swear there is some kind of logic with cards in your deck for the matchmaking system. This seems to be the general consensus. And then also, something I've noticed is whenever I create a new deck that isn't in the current meta, the game doesn't know who to match me up against. And I'll get 24 hours of easy wins. And then it's like a switch turns on and the decks I face are counters or OP meta decks and I can't climb anymore. I tested this today and I could not get it to work. Love to hear what your comments on those two ideas. It 100% feels that matchmaking assigns not only the player an MMR, but maybe it also assigns an MMR to the deck that you're using. The combination of the MMR of the deck and the player determines who you play against. It really, really feels like that, but we really don't know. They said publicly, and I don't believe it, that they do not look at the deck you're using in matchmaking, but everyone seems to feel that they do. Next, let's talk about Wave needs to be corrected. Wave current description says on reveal next turn. Cards in both players' hands cost 4. However, this real effect applies before the turn even ends. For example, the opponent flips Wave and the adjustment is made. Your Calling Wing flips to discard the lowest cost card and you end up discarding Hela or any other card due to Wave early effect. Card description needs to be adjusted or correction to the effect 1000%. And then also, there is a strange interaction right now with Null and Morbius. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but when you have Null or Morbius in your hand, it shows how much their power is adjusted and how much it's boosted. And they did that so that it'd be easy to understand what the power of Morbius and what the power of Null is going to be. However, this creates a problem with Mr. Negative. What about Morbius and Null interaction with Negative being different than Dino and Darkhawk? It feels like the game is mistakenly reading the UI choice of displaying Morbius and Null's calculated power rather than their actual power, which is 0. And Glenn Jones says, this is an undesirable inconsistency and on our radar. And so hopefully that gets fixed soon. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you this quick meme. Deck I wanted to play for so long, me getting the exact last card I needed, and then Second Data releasing a feature location that completely screws over my deck. I think one of the beautiful things about Marvel Snap is there's a featured location that I don't like, and sometimes 2 days seems like a long time. And you know what? I just don't play for those days, and that's okay too. What do you do about featured locations? And also, what do you think about this matchmaking system? It really feels like it has something to do with the deck. I know I switched decks, and then all I get is mirror matches or counters. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye for now.